by making the manufacturers of the products responsible for the products beyond the life cycle of the product, even especially for the take back, recycling, and final disposal of the product. And it was, developed under the underlying principle of the polluter pays. It's expected that as far back as much as possible, you want to shift responsibility back to whoever designed the product. And the aim was ultimately to ensure that that the producers, have incentives to produce, friendly products, incorporate environmental considerations into the design of the products, and also take responsibility away from the municipality, which does not belong to them. And it has been a very successful scheme. It's been very instrumental, especially in managing electronic waste around the world. Quite a lot of countries in different parts of the world, at minimum, not less than 40 countries, have adopted the EPR approach, and it's been very successful. It's a good thing that we had the WEEE Forum made a presentation earlier. For members of the WEEE Forum alone, PROs in the WEEE Forum that manage EPR schemes, within 20 years, ending in 2019, about 26 million tons of WEEE was collected and recycled in an environmentally sound manner through the PRO system or the EPR system. So we've seen it's quite successful in serving the purpose which it was designed for as a policy. And because of the success that we've seen, especially pioneered in European countries and other OECD countries, a lot of African countries too have adopted the EPR approach. If you can see my screen and see from the map there, about 10 African countries have adopted the EPR approach in different EPR methodologies for managing e-waste in the countries. Now, it's quite interesting that at the point when EPR was adopted, the focus was, it was really on the producers, that, okay, producers need to take responsibility and influence every other person within the value chain, all the other stakeholders. It was going to be the producer's responsibility to make it happen and make them align, because it was seen that the producer was one of the most, was a more powerful actor in the system. So they expected to influence even consumers, educators, suppliers in their own value chain, and influence themselves to design products that have minimal adverse environmental impact and improve design that will make it easier to recycle and reduce products. But with more recent studies and experience, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you very fine, but unfortunately the presentation is not going. But you are telling it very, very well. So let us share your presentation later on. You can send it straight to me or to any of us after. We will put it up in the handouts.
Okay, no problem. I'll drop it in the handout.
There is 2 more minutes, one and a half.
1.5 more minutes. So I'll just jump into the role of the different actors. The government, for instance, is responsible for defining the policies, developing the policies, defining the scope of the EPR scheme, and then setting targets for the producers, and more importantly, enforcing. Because without enforcement, all the entire system that you may put in place, all the actors, their product will not be successful. One thing we've seen is that for an EPR to be successful, it must have the all actors approach. All the governments, the consumers, the producers, all of them need to take appropriate responsibility in terms of what they're expected to do. For instance, when you look at in the African circle, we even have repairers, and then we have sectors which also work in terms of aggregating e-waste. So all these actors must have defined responsibilities, which they must also fulfill appropriately, so that the EPR system can be successful. And we talk about consumers, they must also take responsibility in terms of ensuring that they put the e-waste back in places where they're supposed to be. They must give up and not hoard their e-waste, because if they keep hoarding, then we do not have the e-waste to handle appropriately. So one thing we must emphasize is that all actors in terms of even academia and the customs, all government agencies that are involved in the EPR system must take their responsibilities seriously and appropriately do what is expected of them to make the system more robust.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry to come.
Thank you so much.
But this was wonderful to hear. And congratulations to Nigeria for having EPRON up and running. And still, of course, there are things to do, but you are on it. So thank you so much for sharing. We will straight away go over to Mr. Luca Campadello from, he's a Projects and Innovation Manager, ERION, Italy. So welcome, Luca. And any questions, of course, still put them in the Q&A so we can ask them later on in the panel discussion. Luca, the floor is yours. You are muted. I can't unmute you, I'm sorry. Still unmuted? Now we see your presentation, but you're muted. If you say something, Luca.
Me now?
Now, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And now you have a few minutes.
6 minutes.
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm going to show you how the system is working in Italy, and then presenting some details about the Italian system and about our extended producer responsibility scheme. I would like to start from the numbers and make a comparison our reality and the reality of Africa. You can see in Italy we have almost 35% of return rate. So the collection rate of we compared to the put on the market is almost 1/3 of the total. If we look to countries like Kenya, we found numbers of 1%. In general, in Africa, we have from 1 to 4%. So the situation it could sound very different between our system and the system that there is in Africa. Maybe during my presentation we will find some point of contact. As Ibukun was saying, also in Italy we have an all-actor approach. So the management of WEEE is not in the full responsibility of take-back schemes. Municipalities and retailers can decide to give WEEE to take-back schemes, EPR schemes, or to other actors. So this is one of the reasons why the collection rate is not very high, because it is clear that if an actor that is not an EPR scheme is managing WEEE, he will not report these quantities. Quantities collected in Italy are just and reported came just from 99% came from extended producer responsibility schemes. The collection in Italy it is done by 5 groups, from cooling and freezing till lamps. We have a competitive system. So there is not only one scheme, ERION, but there are 13 extended producer responsibility schemes. For managing the competition, which has good points and bad points, of course. Good points could be the fact that there is a extreme research to reduce the cost. and a push for improving the service. This competition needs to be coordinated. It is coordinated by a clearinghouse, which is responsible to organize a level playing field between take-back schemes. Let me now, in the second half of my presentation, tell you about our company and what do we do. These are our values. The ownership of our scheme, it is only of a producer of electronic waste and electronic products and batteries. We want as priority to guarantee quality of the treatment. We make our fees, so the contribution, the visible fee, it is visible. It is public on our website, and it is equal for all the producer. We commit to innovation, to awareness, to change the behavior of consumer, and to transparency. These are our numbers. We have more than 2,000 members, and we manage every year more than 300,000 tons of waste. The group is made by different schemes dedicated to this different value chain. The one for WEEE, the one for professional WEEE, which has different needs in respect of the needs of the household producer, the one for batteries and the e-mobility, and the one for packaging. The economic value generated, it is almost 90 million of euro every year. We are by law a non-for-profit consortium, so we need to reach the stability of the cost and of the revenues. Why this amount of this value could sound strange? Because treating WEEE, even if it is a laptop, even if there is value, is a cost, because there is a big and long value chain. So municipalities needs to be remunerated